watching Geetika Ki Canadian Diary. Today's topic is something that relates to all of us, our seniors at home and retirement communities. India houses the world's second largest senior population, and by 2050, India's senior population is expected to rise to 319 million. This is according to the Sunday Guardian. As a result, India's senior living housing sector is expected to skyrocket over 300% by 2030. Again, according to a report by a real estate consultancy in India and Association of Senior Living in India. Joining me for today's podcast, we have Sonia Ojha, Community Relations Director at Amica Senior Lifestyles in Mississauga, Ontario. Welcome, Sonia.
Thank you. Namaste, Geetika.
Namaste. My very first question, how do you see this transformation, very interesting transformation, I would say, of an age-old concept in our culture, keeping our elderly at home in their golden age? What are the factors contributing to this shift in mindset, according to you?
I think some of the shift is the boomer generation is all of a sudden coming into play. I myself am right at the cusp of boomers. So I am nearly a senior taking care of seniors. And I also have kids as well. So, it's a very interesting place that boomers are finding themselves in right now.
I'm wondering also, when we talk about this change in mindset of retirement communities, people are more open to that. Like maybe technology has a big role to play in it, because I feel like all sorts of information is readily available to them. They can connect with family, friends in an instant.
Absolutely correct. And not to mention the world is growing smaller as well. Everybody has a phone, like you say. Everybody is on WhatsApp. The world is so much smaller. Side to that, there are some in UK, there are some in Canada, and I'm speaking about myself as well. I have relatives all over the world, and everybody is seeing how the other half lives.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
exactly. So they're seeing, if you're living in a country that retirement living and senior residences are a thing, then you're seeing that lifestyle.
Absolutely. I think the increase in life expectancy rates, as you said, that you're taking care of seniors at home, and then you have little kids as well to take care of, and we're also getting older. I also think that there's a change in how you want to spend your time in old age. That thinking has changed as well. Instead of withdrawing from the public life, as we would have seen our grandparents or other seniors when we were way younger, and how they're spending time instead of gardening, cooking, or staying at home. I think community volunteering, mentoring, these are
Yes.
new things that I see seniors getting involved with and happy about,
Bilkul.
right? And
Let me actually paint you a little bit of a picture. So you have your mom, your dad, koi bhi hoy, grandparents, whichever. You are thinking you're doing a good thing by keeping them in your house at your home. You're gone to work, बच्चे school गए, or there's nobody at home all day. Their mobility has gone down. Their friends have started to pass, or they're not going out anymore. So you see depression starts to set in. And then if you have the option of somewhere like any retirement home, you all of a sudden their world opens up. It's actually beautiful to see, because I've been on conversations where I find they come here, all of a sudden they have regular meals throughout the day, so they're not missing a meal, or they're not having something cold क्योंकि कोई काम पे गया, or there's no one there to help. So they're eating better. They're going out on a fully accessible bus. They're going to excursions. They have ready-made friends here. We, Amica in particular, we make it a point to make friends, bring them friends, make sure that they're meeting people who have similar interests or something like that. So you find that all of a sudden their world blossoms, and honestly, it makes me so happy. I was privy to a call last week, and a daughter was calling her mom, and her mom said, "नहीं, मैं आज मैं मिल नहीं सकती क्योंकि ना I'm going to theater में जाना है, movie मेरे friends ना movie देखने ऐसी." Or something like that. Phone करके ना पूछ लें फिर when I'm going to be free. It's turned around,
Yeah, I
and
think the
that's
social
so lovely.
interaction is, yeah, very important, especially. I was reading that loneliness and being alone are two different things. And
Absolutely.
so, Sonia, I have a question that brings me to another point. You know, for those who left India, say 30 or 40 years back, I feel like they're still holding on to what their experience was when they saw their grandparents back home in India, or parents getting senior. Um, the concept that keeping elderly at home and taking care of them was the best thing to do. And in many cases, I'm not debating that. And that being sent to a retirement community will be not taken well by the elderly themselves, and also the shame in the social circle that why are you going to a retirement home? What happened? Your kids are not ready to keep you at home. They don't love you or respect you. So a lot of judgment happening at that
Yeah.
stage. But I see there's a gap of mindset now when we look at the same age groups back home in India and whereas in Canada. Do you agree with me?
I agree with you to a certain extent. I think it depends on the age group as well, because for the people who have been brought up here, they don't necessarily have that guilt. Guilt is, I find, is the biggest issue.
Yep.
And I'm speaking personally as well. My dad, I had, seeing as I'm in the business, I said, and I could see the success stories every day. I asked them, I said, Daddy, would you consider moving into a retirement home? His immediate answer was, "Rishtedar kya kahenge?" And not about him. He was worried about me. "Rishtedar kya kahenge?" So he did not want to think about it at all, and I can see that it would actually do him good
Yeah, I
to
think there's
be.
a reason why sometimes things, as even we would want it to be like that sometimes, but it may not work. As you said, back home, they have a social circle, there is social interaction happening, they've been there forever. And when they come here, as you said, people at home have gone to work, kids have
Yeah.
gone to school. There's a language gap, then there's a cultural gap. They may not know how to drive and go about. So there are lots of other factors that start playing into, is it okay to be left alone at home for hours and for days? And this is going to be the routine uh,
Yes.
of that family. So another question now. So during COVID, we all saw people who died in nursing homes.
Right.
So there is a deeply embedded fear that sending your most vulnerable family member to a nursing home is not the right thing to do or a safe place. And I don't even want to mention or get into the long wait list of Ontario's long-term care, even to be accepted, like it's like several years in some facilities. Do you think post-COVID people are less willing to even consider the thought of going to a nursing home?
I've, I think for the people who are looking for a place, it doesn't matter anymore.
Mhm.
Uh, Unfortunately, like you say, the way Ontario is right now and the way the healthcare is, it's hospitals are full to brimming, and it's a struggle for everyone concerned. So in most cases, the choice even is not there. And I feel as if when they see the place, uh, I mean, I'm amazed every day the processes and the care that we take to to make sure everyone is safe. So, in fact, I would say the safest place you could be for a senior would be in a retirement community, because we have so much care that we have to do, and so much processes in place that we have to do,
Hmm.
not to mention the personalities of the people that simply, we're here because in most cases, you know we have a certain calling and we enjoy the industry, and this is where we want to be. So I don't think that in the retirement communities, that fear is there anymore now, because it's honestly it's very self-evident.
Mhm. My last question.
Mhm.
As you yourself said, there's a lot of pressure on our healthcare system, long wait lists to be added to any long term care facility. Uh, at what stage should one be assessing their own situation and doing research on moving to a retirement community?
Mhm. Mhm. Um, इसी बात. You don't want to wait until you actually need it. Take your time, find a community that speaks to your personality, to your loved one's personality, and has the facilities and has the amenities that you are looking for, and 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 do it while you can, not when you have to.
That's a tough research there. But I just want you to tell our listeners,
Mm,
you work at Amica Senior Lifestyles in Mississauga, some things that speak to you when you are saying that, I'm uh, aging, I have a senior parent to take care of, and it seems you really love your job, Sonia.
I
Um,
do.
what what are the things that you think our listener, a South Asian older person listening to our podcast today, would want to be looking for, would be happy to see in that setting?
I think it helped your your kids, your grandchildren to be less guilty. You know, we are okay. I find the two biggest things is, what's everybody going to say, or I've worked all my life for this amount of money I have, and I don't want someone else to have it. The reality is that we are all okay. We all have jobs. We all, it's a different age. It's something that they don't need to have guilt about. They shouldn't have. And you should be aware that coming into a retirement community will allow you to finally have a good relationship with your parents or with your grandparents, because now you're not running around. You come back from work, you quickly have to make dinner, you have to get the kids set up, you have to clean the house, you have to do this and that. Now with your loved ones at somewhere like Amica, you can now enjoy your relationship with them again. It's not jaldi jaldi, I have to get this done and that done, and God, I don't have time to talk to you now. you know
Hmm.
it's now बैठ के चाय का cup पियो, or enjoy your time that they have, and let your kids enjoy the time with their loved ones, and and there's a great deal of joy and happiness that comes from knowing that you're doing such a lovely thing for your loved one and making sure that they're happy instead of sitting home by themselves
Yeah.
and uh, not knowing how to turn the TV on sometimes. And I've seen that myself with my own parents. They told me once I came home, नहीं कुछ नहीं किया आज क्योंकि ना I couldn't figure out how to turn the
Remote.
iPad on.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure it out. So
Yeah,
it
it's kind of,
honestly,
you're right. Yeah, the guilt goes both ways. I think sometimes we
uh,
feel more guilt that, oh, I'm at work, and so is at home alone by themselves. I hope they're okay, right?
yes,
Yeah, I have to sometimes give a call in the morning and at the end of the day to make sure my mom's doing
exactly.
okay in her apartment.
दवाई ले ली? खाना
Yes,
खा लिया?
yes,
Or did you remember to turn the stove off?
yep, yep,
Things like that. And that's stressful for us as well.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much, Sonia, for your knowledge, insights, and discussing a very tough topic for our community members, I would say. Thank you
Thank
for your
you.
time.